Audio Jungle.
Man allegedly shot and injured by brother in Spanish Town. A 46-year-old man was allegedly shot and injured by his brother in Ensom City, Spanish Town, St. Catherine on Saturday. Reports are that about 12:50 p.m., explosions were heard along Willowdale Avenue in the community. The police say it was later discovered that the man had been shot by his brother. The injured brother was taken to hospital where he was admitted for injuries. The police have not yet revealed the motive for the shooting. The Spanish Town Criminal Investigations Branch is probing the case. Rampo shot and killed in Spanish Town. The town center of Spanish Town, St. Catherine, was the scene of a brazen daylight shooting on Sunday that resulted in the death of a man. Police have so far identified the man only by his alias Rampos. He is believed to be a laborer of Marchpen Road, Spanish Town address. The police say about 10:30 a.m., Rampos was on Burke Road when he was pounced upon by two men armed with handguns. The men fired shots hitting Rampos all over his body. He was taken to the Spanish Town Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The Spanish Town Criminal Investigations Branch is probing the incident. Health and Wellness Minister urges Jamaicans to observe World AIDS Day by committing to action and personal responsibility. Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton is urging Jamaicans to observe World AIDS Day by committing to action and personal responsibility. This is as an estimated 26,000 people in Jamaica are living with HIV. Dr. Tufton says while 90% of that figure know their status, only 64% are on treatment and 76% are virtually suppressed. The national goal is to achieve 95% in all three categories. He says the government remains committed to creating an enabling environment for successful HIV responses and protecting the dignity of people living with or vulnerable to HIV. Dr. Tufton notes, however, that citizens must also play a role in ending AIDS as a public health threat by 2030.
To support this mission, the Ministry of Health and Wellness has made significant investments in strengthening our healthcare system, from expanded facilities and staff training focused on human rights to free access to HIV testing, medications, and diagnostic services. We are removing barriers to care. Advocacy and legal support through government and private entities further ensure that everyone has the tools to protect and defend their rights. Together, we can build a culture of acceptance and respect that encourages everyone to seek care without fear or stigma. Get tested, know your status, and encourage others to do the same. Together, with human rights at the center, we can ensure a future where HIV is no longer a threat to public health.
From phones to fire trucks. When Gloria Austin joined the Jamaica Fire Brigade JFB in 1958 as the first female firefighter, she answered calls in the duty room and could only dream about riding the fire trucks or fighting fires. However, decades later, women are pushing boundaries and blazing trails, with Julian Davis Buck, the Assistant Commissioner in charge of Area 2 and the highest ranked female in the brigade, chief among them. When Austin joined the brigade, she was stationed at York Park Fire Station. The 98-year-old told reporters that for women of her time, raising to the rank of assistant commissioner or any high rank was only a pipe dream, as their sole role was to conduct administrative tasks in the duty room. In the duty room, we had to receive calls and dispatch the unit. Other stations would be calling in, and you had to inform them of what you heard on the radio, and you have been dispatched. How many men went out? The superintendent would be calling in at the same time. If it was a large fire, the superintendent would call the first unit and would be dispatched to the scene of the fire. He would be calling in to let you know the progress and if you should dispatch another unit, Austin recounted. However, despite their interest, she said the women were never allowed to ride in the trucks or go out in the field, and her male colleagues at the time gave them the title "Women on the Concrete." The men didn't accept us too much because they said we were getting the same salary as them. Sometimes when the men would be called for duty in the duty room, if one of our women was out, they said, why should they come down and do the duty room and we're getting the same salary like them, she recalled. I would just ignore them but many of them were helpful. Sometimes they would be upstairs in their quarters, and when they heard the bell go off, they would come down on the pole and ask if they could help. They all would be standing around and have a pen and paper to jot down something that we may not, within that minute, be able to remember, she told the porters. Austin recalled the calls were received in Morse code and they had to be taught how to interpret them. She said, unlike today, people would not call in the fire station. They had to ring fireboxes located across island to get a unit, a system that may be exploited. On a Saturday night or Friday night, when there would be careless people on the streets and they saw the box, they just pull it down and then a call come in. We didn't know if it was false or not, but we had to treat it as a legitimate call and send the unit out, she recalled. In her 5 years working with the Jamaica Fire Brigade, Austin said she had the privilege of sending out units to fight big blaze at locations such as Coronation Market in Kingston and Times Square on King Street in downtown Kingston. However, she would have loved to be among those fighting the blaze. Though her dreams were dashed, she said she is pleased to see that her hopes of the JFB, where women play a more hands-on role, has come to fruition. I am very pleased with the advancement of the amount of young people who are joining the brigade now. I am pleased to see the women joining, and they seem to be very much interested in their job. I am very pleased to see that I have lived to see this. It feels great, the 98-year-old told reporters. Austin added that she was particularly elated when she met Davis Butter at the JFB Ball and Awards ceremony last month and learned that the women are now allowed to occupy such ranks. Recalling their interaction, Davis Buckle said it was an honor to meet one of the women who paved the way for other women in the brigade. She was saying that I was not as lucky as I am to mix and mingle with the men, and she don't know how to hold a fire hose. We laughed about it and she said, I wonder if I'm really a firewoman because I don't know how to hold a hose because they weren't allowed to at the time. She said to me, you are the real firefighter because you do the firefighting, but we did the housekeeping to make sure the firefighters do well out there, Davis Bucker recalled. It is a warm feeling for me when I realize that I am part of a rich history. She said to me that she's happy that I'm not just a firefighter, but I am now in top management because she said even though she wished it, she never thought it would be possible to see women in higher ranks, and she lived to see it possible, Davis Buckle stated. She continued, when I told her of my rank, she said, what? How did you get there? And I told her how I'm just 2 ranks away from being commissioner, and she said, wow, that's so nice. A history maker herself, the assistant commissioner, said she joined the JFB in 1995 when women were still assigned to administrative duties, but determined to break the glass ceiling. She worked hard to become one of the first women in Manchester to ride on the truck. I remember getting my first gear, and I never wanted fire to burn so much because I wanted to wear it. Getting my first fire call, I can remember, it was awesome. I went on the truck, and it was a bushfire. It was the truck you had to hang from. I think that was another issue too, because they would be protective of us, to have us hanging on the back of the trucks. But when we started to get the trucks, when we sat inside, they were more comfortable with us riding more and going out there. You just have to prove yourself, stated Davis Buckle. When she learned that a female had never seen a high rank in the brigade, she said she was even more motivated to hone her skills and prove that women are capable of taking up space in male-dominated fields. I said to myself, I really want to wear one of those blue uniforms, and I really want to be that female for the JFB to form history. So far, I am on track. I am doing my best. I am doing what I need to do so that when the day comes for me to put my hat in the ring, I am measured up to the men, because I am telling you, there are some tough men, stated Davis Buckle. She stressed that she has never wanted to be promoted because of her gender and always worked to bring herself to new heights, taking every course available to improve her rank. With a degree in disaster management and law, she now sets her sight on the position of Commissioner of the JFB. She urged other women in the brigade to be steadfast in the profession and improve their skills and build a legacy of female excellence. Understand the role and function that you play in the organization. Study the landscape of the organization. Understand your weakness, not only as a female but as a firefighter, and go build on it. Understand your weakness. Don't shy away from it, said the Assistant Commissioner. The JFB currently has a complement of approximately 2,000 workers, 85% of whom are men. However, the development of stronger female presence within the brigade is a move being championed by Commissioner Stuart Beckford, who said structural limitations are being addressed. Remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.